mission. We have a lot of men, okay, who claim to know Jesus and want a wife to submit to them, but they're not submitted to Jesus. And you can't ask for something from a person you're not willing to do yourself. Okay? That's another thing. And it's one of the reasons why many marriages fall apart, is because men don't want to submit to Jesus. And the reality is that men, we should be submitting to Jesus first, and then seeing if we want a wife. Okay? Because remember, the example that Christ laid down for us of marriage is Hosea the prophet marrying Gomer the prostitute. Okay? All right, so you're gonna want, so what in the marriage, it means that as being a person like Christ, okay, you're willing to lay down your life for your wife and love her unconditionally. All right. Well, what about the women? The women are supposed to love their husbands unconditionally, but we're talking about the men here. All right. All right. So we have to look at that. When Eve sinned in the garden, she was looking at God was looking at Adam. All right. And that's the thing. We don't see much of that accountability being laid down anymore. Okay? And that's the problem. God, we have to see if this is what we really want to do. Submitting, if you see yourself struggling to submit to Jesus, then don't ask about marriage. Okay? Because Jesus laid down his life for his church. Even though his church was going to be disobedient, his church would be rebellious. Okay? Even today, you see the church, instead of following the commandments of Christ, they will follow false teachers and teachers that will tell them they could do whatever they want and it'll be okay with God. Whether it's joining the military, going overseas to kill people that are made in the image of God that Christ died for. It's okay, God and country. It's okay to have, your marriage don't work out, go marry somebody else. Never mind that you already made a first covenant, and to marry somebody else while your first spouse lives is adultery. And adultery will bar you from heaven. Never mind that. All right? There is no submission to Christ. Okay? That's the issue here. That as men we have to submit to Christ first. And if all we could do is handle just submitting to Christ and not taking up another human being to call our wife, it's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You gotta accept your limitations. All right? There's nothing wrong with that. However, there is something wrong with you demanding submission from your wife or your fiance, and you are not submitted to Christ yourself. You know this. You know there's issues within you and that you have with Christ, and it's best not to be married or to break it off with your fiance, so you can work out things with the Lord, so you can submit to Christ and you could have submission from your wife. Because it doesn't make any sense, again, telling someone that, they should lose weight, but you're fat yourself. All right? Stop eating junk food, but you're eating junk food. That is it's hypocrisy. All right? And a lot of people, a lot of men who will get mad at that. But that's the truth of it all. Take the speck out of your own eye before you can remove the beam in someone else's eye. That's all I have to say.